welcome to Gemstone Tarot, Monday the 14th. Monday the 14th of Hotness 2025. It's supposed to be cooling down a bit next week actually in the UK. I've just been doing a writing course and we were in a very, very old building, like really, really old. And God, oof, those buildings are not made for heat. I don't know whether the sun just never came out about a couple of 100 years ago, but by God, it was hot in there. Oof. Right, this is for tomorrow, because today I'm watching the men's Wimbledon final after I've made this. I know, can't wait. So we've got Alcaraz and we've got Sinner in the men's final, which I reckon it will be pretty damn good. You'll know the result by the time. No, you won't, because this goes out today. Okay, that just shows the kind of headspace I'm in. Right, what do we need to know? We're using the Dreaming Way Tarot, which is this rather unusual and gorgeous deck. What do we need to know, please, as we start the week? Seven of Cups has come up an awful lot, hasn't it? It came up a lot in the monthly readings, and it's come up a lot in other readings. I've done pick cards and all sorts of bits and bobs, and it's come up in those as well. And I think I've just done a Gemstars reading. I can't even remember what I did, Gemstars. I did like a love reading, didn't I? A pick a card love reading. And I'm pretty sure it came up in that. I do like the Seven of Cups, but it does show you that there's stuff going on, sort of Neptunian, and I'm going to pull that as the first card actually. Swirly stuff is what I call it with the Seven of Cups. It's Neptunian, it's swirly, it's you half know you like something, you half don't know if you like something. You don't know if you're operating in reality or whether something is a little bit of a dream space. It can also come up, quite frankly, if you're kidding yourself a bit. You know, if you are pulling the wool over your own eyes. There's something in this reading, though, that is rather hopeful and rather nice, even if there is a bit of that involved. Because we have the Eight of Swords here, which is about what you can't see and mental restrictions. And I think there's a very fine line between the mental restrictions and wanting to break out of them and breaking, like vaulting the fence over into fantasy. Isn't this a beautiful card, by the way? Absolutely gorgeous. Really based on the Rider-Waite, but still original. So yeah, I feel like sometimes if we're trapped in a way of thinking or we're trapped in a situation, we do try and reach too quickly, too far, or get into magical thinking, or kid ourselves, if you want to put it the short way, when what we need to go through is that. I know, what a lovely Ten of Swords that is. Ten of Swords it should be a welcome card. It often isn't, because who's going to welcome such a gruesome looking card? But it's when you get to tackle the peak of a situation, when it becomes too painful to stay the same. And this reading is just telling me that there may be something we don't want to look at, that we are resisting, that in this situation could release a lot of love and a lot of hope. But I think it's going to take, well, we've got two queens in the reading. We've got the Queen of Wands, and I would definitely say the Queen of Wands is passion and courage and bravery, and also a little bit of fake it till you make it. Just, you know, I'm gonna give this a try. And we have this lovely Queen of Swords, which is cool and logical and logistic, and also with that big old sword, very interested in authenticity and in alignment and being in the truth. So there's something here about being in our truth. there's something here about what we're blindsided by. And there's something here about gradually unpicking what it is that we are afraid to look at. Now, like I said, I don't think it would be a good idea to, you know, rip off the band-aid and just see what's what. I think it's more of a gradual thing. I think we need to be kinder to ourselves than that. We need to apply the logic of the Queen of Swords. We need to have the bombastic arrogance of the Queen of Wands, and those two things together push us to confront something that needs to be released. And then we get this, which is just beautiful. Look at that, this gorgeous Two of Cups, Venus in Cancer, and it can be new relationship, as in, you know, a new friendship, a new pairing, a new romantic relationship, a new coming together. It's simpatico. It's a very nice card to get, and we get it as well with the Star. Look at that. Love that. Major Arcana, Hope. Let me try and show you the cards. They're very whitish cards, so I don't know if they're going to show up as much. Well, so they're not going to show up if I've sort of put them down at the bottom like that. Hang on, let me just get rid of me a minute. Yeah, they don't show up too well. But you can kind of see, I think, where we have this Eight of Swords, where we kind of can't see over the top of something, we can't see clearly, we're blindsided. We need to confront the Ten of Swords so that we can get all of the swords out of the way. And so this can be radical truth, radical acceptance as well. We need the bombasticness and the confidence of the Queen of Wands, is logicity a word? The logic of the Queen of Swords, and also the clear thinking. And and also, yeah, we may stray off into fantasy land a bit. We need to bring ourselves back, kind of bring the balloon back down. But this brings us a lot of love and joy. It releases a lot of love into the room. And then Star is about manifesting and hope and happiness. What is holding us back? Let's have a shadow card. Let's put myself back in. Hello. Shadow card. In fact, I'll go back onto full screen. There we go. That's a very interesting shadow card. Shadow card we get is the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, which is Jupiter in Pisces, is about being truly in heart alignment with what you really want. It's a heart's desire. It's not a logical, I think I want some of that. It's a real, that feeling of woof that you get when you really, really need or want, or, yeah, the heart wants what it wants, is the Nine of Cups, and the heart can have it. But that's a shadow card. So it may be that you don't hold the belief, and of course we've got the Star, which is a card of belief and manifestation. You don't hold the belief that you can have it. Let's have... Yes! I knew that was the right one. Enchanted Veil Oracle card. Chains. Freedom is achieved by breaking unnecessary bonds. So that comes up again, and this is the unnecessary bond that we can't quite see at the moment. And, you know, this could be a daily, weekly, monthly, or even a whole of a year of a reading, really. So the energy hits you when it hits you, or the energy resonates when it resonates, but it's something that you can no longer see. You can't... It's a bit like... This is a weird analogy. It's a bit like, you know, when you're cooking and you can't smell your own food, and then you have to go down the shop for an ingredient. You come back in, you're like, that smells good. There's a little bit of distance required here. And the distance is the Queen of Swords, and there's also a little bit of bravery, which is the Queen of Wands. Both of those things end up releasing that Ten of Swords and giving us this real sense of connection, and it's worth it. Oof, we got there. I'm going to go and watch the men's final at Wimbledon, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.